Good evening. You're not dancing, Jamie.
I was.
I know. Oh, good evening. Welcome to Paranormal Lens. It's another Tuesday, so here we are. How's your weekend, Jamie? How are your week? I mean, what's going on?
Stuff happened, things it went by, like every weekend and every weekend between these episodes, it's like, boom, here we
Mm-hmm.
are again.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
kind of, you hit the rumble strips on Monday evening thinking, okay, what do I got to do for the episode? Like, not like we don't plan, right? You know, to be
Right.
clear on that, but and today is like, we're back again. So cool. Something good to look forward to.
Yep.
How about you is the question, sir, because you had fun. I
I
know
had a good
this.
weekend. Well, I decided that on Friday I would go down to. This was pre-planned. It wasn't a last-minute thing. I would go down to Hanover Paracon for the Friday night event. They were doing some Friday night stuff, so had the whole thing planned out. And what did we get? We got like dumped on with snow. So got up early, and Emmy and I jumped in the car and we drove to Virginia through a snowstorm. We got over to Gloucester and had lunch over in Gloucester, met a friend, and then we went to Hanover and met another friend, Steve Dills.
Friend of a friend, yeah.
So Steve was happy to see me, happy to meet Emmy, and he was putting together an event, and we had a lot of fun. We were there. There was a discussion or a presentation from Haunted Richmond. Some interesting stuff there. A lot of good stories from the Richmond area. Um, um, Jamie, they have three filing cabinets full of stuff that they don't have explanations for and will never close the cases because they know what they are, but there's just nothing that they can prove. So they told
It's
us
like it's like Fox Mulder's office in the X Files, right?
exactly. That's what
All
they
those
said.
cabinets of wow.
So so
Maybe
that
we
was
should get.
pretty cool.
Do
And then we
you
went and did
think we can go raid the cabinets?
uh, it is the Capitol Police, so I don't.
All right, permission versus forgiveness. Okay, fine, but
So,
you
but
know,
it would be interesting to get some of their information and stories. So maybe we'll have to make some connections, and I bet Steve could hook us up with some people.
right,
So
right.
so he does want
It's
to
not
get back on the show.
okay.
So we'll
No,
have
it's
that.
an open invitation.
Yeah,
No worries.
exactly. Um, then we did it. Then we went to another room. Great food, by the way. If you ever get down to Hanover, which is outside of Ashland, um, the Hanover Tavern, the food is amazing.
Okay.
So definitely check it out. They also have a theater in the building, so that was cool. They were doing a show, so Emmy got to go backstage and see some of the stuff that was going on there. Um,
Right.
so yeah, that was fun. But then we went upstairs to one of the older rooms from the inn, tavern days, and did a Staticom session. So that was really cool. There were some people there, Patty Negri,
Right.
who's on. So there was some communication going on with her. Like it was really interesting. There was just a lot going on. Emmy was picking up words and things, and it was great. Ron and Lord is always doing a great job, so I was happy to introduce Emmy to them and
Right.
that thing. And I made him listen to some stuff on the way down, some documentaries and stuff. And at one
Okay.
point they stopped the documentary. They go, "Dad, this is all science." And I'm like, "Yep." So they were talking to Ron about that. So he was happy that younger people are getting involved and interested and wanting to learn about it. So
Wait. So you mean paranormal stuff isn't all some dude yelling about being possessed by a demon?
no, it's not.
No. No. Wearing a mask you can't hear anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I
Okay.
don't know who
Cool.
you're talking about.
Just being clear on that. Asking for a friend.
Uh-huh. So but that was really cool. It was a great experience. And then we drove back up because I was hoping, I wanted to be back for our investigation on
Right.
Saturday night,
Yeah.
and unfortunately the weather and some
Did
other
not
things
cooperate.
did
No.
not cooperate, so we had to cancel it. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I said it last week. I'm so excited and ready to get back to this after
uh-huh.
a nice break over the holidays. And now it's like an extended vacation,
Yep.
um, to some degree. So another month. So what's the 24th of February?
Yep.
Uh,
which
pretty,
shouting that out already. There's one ticket left
yeah,
online.
exactly. I would say
So
it's a pretty full event already, and there's always a little flex to that, but
yeah. So
it's amazing, that
mm,
it's that ready to go. So we're not
hmm
the only ones itching to get there.
not and exactly. There's a lot of
So,
people who want to get out there and do it. So
yeah, it's really cool.
um, so yeah.
All right.
Um, speaking of Staticom,
Okay.
Ron and Lourdes do stuff throughout the week. Sometimes they do stuff online. And their partner out in Arizona, Tony Rathman and Tony and Sheree Rathman, do stuff as well.
Right.
So I've got this clip. Ron posted it. Um, let me just run it, and we'll talk about it afterwards. I mean, that was pretty clear, wasn't it?
Yeah. A bit of a tattletale too, though. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So so whenever I see stuff from that they put up, I like to share it. But yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah.
And I've said this before, and obviously when they were on, I said this directly, but it impresses me the clarity that is presented in their sessions, and I think that's a challenge that we have, when reviewing evidence on voice recorders and audio equipment, or digital recorder, video recorder, whatever. It's never that clear. I mean, it's rare when it's that clear. We all want
Right.
Class A.
Right.
Obviously, this is what's there.
Right.
But we mostly get B's and C's, and more C's probably even than B's.
Mm-hmm.
So it's some interpretation. When it's that clear, you can't miss it.
Right.
And I appreciate the subtitle add to it, because just in case. But
Right.
wow,
You didn't need the subtitle in
you
that.
didn't. Yeah, you really don't.
So,
I mean, honestly, I think there's a word behind it, the
mm-hmm.
session as well. It feels like it tails off to something, but
Right.
that part is, to me, is unintelligible just without headphones and a bit
Right.
more clarity. But wow, that's
So
cool.
I mean, and I think this is where we want the field to go, and
Yeah.
doing more things like this. And I really appreciate their wanting to make sure it's clean and good and ready to go, and before they start wanting to share it, like, because if you're working with something that clean, then there's no debating it. So
Right. Well,
there's always going to be debating it, but
yeah. There's always going to be that, but it's an integrity issue, because I mean, anything you put your name to, you want to make sure it's right. You want to make sure it's honest. This is my perspective, but I don't think I'm far from you on this, and I know I'm not far from our team's perspective. But we really don't want to put something out there that's false representation of what really was there, and what it is.
right.
And I don't want to lead anybody to a conclusion.
Right.
It's hard not to come to a conclusion when we all hear the same thing clearly.
Right.
So I totally understand that and agree with you.
Yeah, and that's what I keep pushing with, like, Emmy is, one thing is great, two people hearing it's amazing, three people hearing it's like you can't really debate it. So,
Yeah, you're right on, Todd. We agree.
yeah.
It's great stuff. We'll have more soon.
Mm-hmm.
And not to jump the gun to the end of the episode, but when we show our events coming up, keep May 11th open on your calendars. There's still tickets are available now for the Red Mill investigation, Red Mill, New Jersey. Not Red Mill, New Jersey. It's not. It's not Red Mill, New Jersey. Although if you Google Red Mill, New Jersey, it'll come up right away.
Right.
Where are we? Clinton, New Jersey.
Clinton, New Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Clifton, and that's a theater the other direction.
And
But New Jersey. And Jim, I'm sorry. I know you're here. I'm so sorry. This is me not getting there yet, like trying to catch up.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to
May
Clifton
11th.
in 2 weeks, or in a week.
Well, yeah, it's true. It's in my head
Yeah.
yet. The May 11th event, tickets are available now, and they're starting to go. So don't wait too long, because it will be a limited ticket event. We're not going to oversell on this one because we have certain capacity issues to worry about. So, but Daryl Marston will be there again, as he was with us last year, and Ron and Lord is with the Staticon project, and maybe a few other surprises too.
And Jim's going to be there.
And Jim, yes, and you can't go without Jim. Yeah, that's a standard. It's a
Yeah.
must-have.
So.
It's must-see paranormal TV right there.
Hmm.
So
All right. Well, I guess we're here to talk about the Dragon's Triangle, Jamie.
yeah,
That's what I researched a little bit this week. It's going to be a short episode. There have been a lot going on, as you said earlier. So this going to be pretty short, but
okay.
I want to hit some key points.
Can we
Um,
just run a couple episodes of what's that? Oh my gosh, it just Game of Thrones with the dragons there. Is that what this is? Is that what we're watching?
no, no, but Laura Croft Tomb Raider
Ooh,
was set in this area
all right.
apparently. So we could have run that.
We could,
Never.
I don't know if we have the rights to that one. It
That
might be a
that
stretch.
probably that might have gotten us kicked off.
Yeah, the rule number one to podcasting is don't do stuff to get sued over, right?
Oh, okay.
So 'cause we can't
So
afford that.
no, definitely not.
All right,
So all
Dragon
right. So
Triangle.
jumping into the Dragon's Triangle, we're all familiar with the Bermuda Triangle, located off the southeastern coast of the United States. You did an episode a few weeks ago on the Alaska Triangle, right?
Yes.
So it may surprise some people, but there are actually 12 of these areas around the world known as the Vial Vortices. And actually, there's more than that because the Alaskan Triangle is not figured into that count. Um, so if you look at this map, you see 10, right?
Mhm.
Any idea where the other two are?
Antarctica.
North Pole and South Pole are
Yeah,
in.
basically comes in North Pole and Antarctica,
Yep.
but North and South, sure.
So,
The poles are not represented on your map. So yes.
exactly. So,
Okay.
so the best known of the vial vortices are the Bermuda Triangle, the Dragon's Triangle, or the Devil's Sea, and the South Atlantic Anomaly. However, each of these 12 areas is credited with instances of magnetic anomalies, mysterious disappearances, strange weather occurrences, malfunctioning electronic equipment, and many other unexplained phenomena. So these, as you can see, these vortices are scattered around the globe, but they all seem to be in a line this way, and they all seem to be in a pattern, two lines this way, and a pattern back and forth. If you connect them, they actually create stars. It's an interesting.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool. Um, but tonight, like I said, I'm going to focus on the Dragon's Triangle. This region is in the Western Pacific Ocean. It's notorious for mysterious disappearances of ships, aircraft, and reports of other strange phenomena. The the location of the Dragon's Triangle is it's also known as the Devil's Triangle, the Pacific Bermuda Triangle, the Formosa Triangle, and it's in the South Pacific, south of Tokyo, near Miyake Island, Bonin Islands, and Iwo. This area is located south of Japan, east of the Philippines, and west of Guam. The stories of this area go back at least to 1000 BC. According to mythological accounts, a huge dragon inhabited this area of the sea and lay in wait for any vessel to pass. The dragon, with insatiable hunger, would drag any boat that crossed its path into the sea, never to be seen again. The Japanese name for the area is Mano-umi, which means Sea of Devil. This originated when the stories of the paranormal in the sea became popular. One of the um, one of the stories of Japan in this area is when the conqueror Kublai Khan, the fifth great Khan of the Mongol Empire and the grandson of Genghis Khan, tried to make inroads into Japan in 1274 and 1281 AD. However, on both attempts, he failed to invade the country after losing his vessels and 40,000 crew members aboard in this triangle area, reportedly, historically due to typhoons. As Kublai Khan and his army abandoned the plans to invade Japan, the Japanese believed that it was the gods had sent the typhoons to save them from the enemies. Later strengthening the truth behind the legends, divers and marine archaeologists have found remains of the Mongol fleet in this region, in the Triangle region. So there's where the paranormal starts coming in, that the typhoons were there that sank them, but the typhoons were sent by a
Right.
god. So that's the first historic story that we have. Another story tells the sighting of a mysterious lady sailing a vessel in the Devil's Sea in the early 1800s. It is said that the vessel resembled the traditional. Um, I'm behind on my slides there. um,
Say when I can do this. I have this ability.
yep. Um, the traditional Japanese equipment for burning incense. However, the destination identity of the vessel still remains a mystery. So they would just see it sailing, but never was going anywhere or went anywhere, like came to any port. Um, so go ahead and jump to the next slide. Um, Shifting to more recent history, in the 1940s and 1950s, a number of fishing vessels and military vessels disappeared in the Triangle. So here's one of the accounts. In August 1945, a Mitsubishi A6M0, a long range fighter plane, went missing in the area of Devil's Sea towards the end of World War II. Prior to radio silence, the pilot, Shiro Quadamoto, managed to relay one final message: something is happening in the sky. The sky is opening up. And then it was silent, and he disappeared. So we don't know what happened there. So as a result of these numerous events, and there were, this is just a couple. There's so many recorded events in the 40s and 50s. Japan sent a research vessel named and you can jump to the next slide, the Kwaimoro number 5 in 1952 to investigate the vessels that had been reported to have gone missing. However, the research vessel, with 31 crew members aboard it, also met the destiny of the previous vessels which went into the Devil's Sea, never to be seen again. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
So, following this incident, the Japanese government reportedly declared the area dangerous for marine voyaging and transporting goods. Moreover, as a result of this unprecedented incident, all efforts to unearth the facts behind the mystery were also aborted completely. So the idea of researching this was taken off the table. They weren't going to send any more ships in to try to figure out what happened. Um, on March 22nd, 1957, you can jump to the next slide, a U.S. Air Force C-97 Stratofreighter carrying 67 military personnel to the Tokyo airport mysteriously disappeared despite reporting calm winds and perfect flying conditions. Jumping even to more recent history, um, September 9th, 1980, so fairly recent history, motor vessel Derbyshire, an ore bulk oil combination carrier built in 1976, so not an old ship, was traversing the Triangle. It was carrying 157,000 tons of iron ore and was lost during Typhoon Orchid, 230 miles off the east coast of Okinawa. Twice as big as the Titanic, it was the largest British ship ever to have been lost at sea. Now, an interesting note here is that this ship was following weather routing advice from a commercial weather routing company. So there's companies out there that's their job to make sure that even though there's a storm, you're routing around the storm and getting the best possible things to go through. January 2002, a Chinese freighter, you can jump to the next slide, MV Linjie, set to arrive at the Japanese port of Kagoshima, disappeared in the same region. Now, what is common to both of these incidents is that neither of them ever issued a mayday. I mean, that's the standard distress message. If the
Yep.
ship's going down, you typically call out so anybody in the area can come save you. They never got a mayday off. They just simply disappeared. So, what happened? Go ahead and jump to the next slide. Oh, that's the Lin J. Go ahead and jump to the next one. So, while the Dragon Trial has gained a reputation for paranormal activity, scientists have often attributed reported incidences to natural causes such as underwater earthquakes, methane hydrate eruptions, and strong ocean currents. So, looking at the location of the triangle, we can see that it sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. This ring is made up of underwater volcanoes. We can also see that the triangle itself is located with, within three deep water ocean trenches. These deep trenches contain cold currents, while the Ring of Fire creates warm currents. So, one thought is the underwater clashing of these hot and cold currents causes disruption, which changes buoyancy, which can cause the ships to just disappear and sink. Another idea has to do with the submarine volcanoes in the area. As the volcano erupts, it spews magma and gases into the water. This also alters the buoyancy of the water, which in turn could cause the ships to sink. Is it possible that this could also alter the air above the surface of the water, causing airplanes to just lose their lift and drop out of the sky? So there's, a couple of thoughts there.
Sure.
Go ahead and jump onto the next slide. So let's go back to our research vessel. Um, there was I did find a story that explained what happened to this. So I'm going to quote the news article here. On September 24th, 1952, the Japanese research vessel Koyamaru Number 5 was destroyed when a seafloor volcano erupted directly under her. There was no eyewitnesses to the event. The hull of the vessel drifted on the ocean current was found from the 25th to 28th of September, south of the Bayanese Rocks volcano. Pieces of fragmental lava and pumice were found stuck into the wreckage, and this matched with the samples from the volcano. All 31 lives on board were lost, including the 9 scientists. So, right there is definitive proof about
Yeah.
what's going on here. Go ahead and jump onto the next slide. So, looking at the information here, I would say there's more evidence that ties this to physical and earth sciences than paranormal phenomena. There are so many possibilities when it comes to the ocean floor that we don't understand, and this image doesn't even include any of the deep ocean trenches, things like that.
Right.
So, what do you think, Jamie? I mean,
Well, I want it to be a dragon, you know,
you can jump to the next slide.
but
There you
there he is.
go.
I got the same kind of impression of the scientific element in looking at the Bermuda Triangle.
Hmm.
Um, it's a deep water trench area, not overly active, but still has alloys and other elements in the seabed that can interfere with compasses and electronic equipment. Given the right environmental conditions, things like that. Um, the thing that you said earlier, though, for the zero that was went missing,
Hmm.
the pilot claimed that the sky was opening. That is a claim that I've heard with the Bermuda Triangle as well,
Right.
and a claim that I've heard that I got when I researched the Alaskan Triangle, where these vortexes or vortices opening,
Right.
aerial vortices, in the area, and that I like to touch and taste and smell things.
Hmm.
So this it's all anecdotal because you don't have any actual evidence, but
Right.
if we're hearing the same thing repeatedly in different elements of areas of the world, the same element, I think there might be something to it. How do
Right.
you prove it though?
Right.
The scientific element of it is, I want something that's tangible.
Hmm.
But it's an interesting comment, that, and then of course it disappeared into the plane.
Right.
It's amazing. I don't know.
Right.
But, I do believe, you're right. There is so much with the underwater volcanoes, the deep water trenches, the hot and cold elements of the water flow. And it's just, there's real science there. So
Right.
I think that's likely a highly causable reason.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Todd, I agree with Todd here. It's
Yeah.
like there may be some things to the planes being, with the loss of lift if a volcano goes like right underneath it. But again, odds of that happening are so slim.
I think
Sort
it'd
of
have to
goes
be a low flying plane, a low flight too. Is
through.
somebody that's 2 or 3, 4 miles up? I don't see that.
Right. But that sort of goes back to our discussion when we had Steve on with Skinwalker Ranch
Right.
about what they've thought were just portals, flat portals, and actually being what they look like tunnels,
Right. Yeah.
or
Wormholes.
vortices or
Yeah.
wormholes or whatever you want to
Right.
call it. So,
Yeah. This is where the aliens come and take people right here.
or
It's
bring
not just
people.
it's not the middle of nowhere here in the western U.S. Um,
Right. But
I don't know. I mean, I want to poke a little fun here, and like
mhm,
carry on about it, but it's really serious when people are losing their lives. Loved ones aren't coming home, kind of thing, and
right,
that's real. Um,
right.
and these are people going to work as well. These ships are,
Research
and this is a
scientists.
place in the world that is a high traffic area.
Right.
Much like the East Coast here in the U.S. with the Bermuda Triangle, ships have to pass through it in order to come from the Caribbean to anywhere on the Atlantic seaboard.
Right.
And or South America. It's
Right.
incredibly expensive to take the detour and go out, out to sea and around it.
Right.
This is a significant traffic zone.
Right.
Um,
Well,
and
because
so
you get Japan, Guam, like to get stuff between those areas,
mhm.
you have to go through here.
I mean, just to get to the continent, to Asia, you're passing through this from
Hmm.
the east to the west.
Hmm.
This is the spot you have to go to. It's impractical to go below the Philippines, and it's impractical to go above Japan and come back, come around if you're going to mainland. So and there's a lot there as far as commerce passing through. So it's you know this is like the Bermuda Triangle. I was reading something a couple weeks ago, like what happened to the Bermuda Triangle. It was a thing, like a big thing growing up. We're in the same generation, so
Hmm.
there were tons of things about it in the 70s and early 80s. It was every time something happened, it was noted and it made the news. And for the last 20, 30 years, it feels like it's really dropped off. And does that mean things aren't happening? Probably not. Does it mean
Right.
it's newsworthy anymore? Well, probably not as well. There's other fantastical things out there now, but it's things, odd things are still happening. It's just our technology and our access to information has gotten so much better. We can explain it better,
Right.
and we're more prepared with the advancements of our crafts that we're using, our boats and our planes. That it's not as common to have failures of things go down. Like the ship that was 4 years old that went down.
Hmm.
That's not a 100-year-old ship or 50, 60-year-old ship. That's just
Right.
it needs an overhaul, and it's just it's being held together with spackle and duct tape and a lot of wishes.
Right.
Like, let's get me there. I'll take care of this. It's like my gas tank. Coming home. Just get me home. I'll be fine.
Hmm.
Um, Never works. Always stuck somewhere. But I think we're past some of that stuff that was of that era. With new technologies, we're doing better, but things are still occurring, and finding those, we're doing better at finding things too, right? Like when ships go down or planes go down, we're able to find them because we have black boxes, we have transponders, we have better technology to track things.
Right.
So maybe it's just it's not as common, but it's also I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm going to stop talking, right? But
Right.
it's an interesting thing that it's not as common or presented as much anymore as it used to be, because
Right.
it used to be big. Remember this? Am I off base?
No, no, I remember. Yeah. So,
Okay. Yeah, I'm
I,
just and I was a kid of interest. This stuff always has interested me, I guess, but um, it's weird. And why are these things always triangles? I think Bert has commented on that.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I wanted to comment on Amanda here. I'm glad
oh,
that
sorry.
Amanda made it
I'm
through
back.
and didn't get lost in the triangle. So,
I
but
wouldn't
yeah,
mess with you there either. So,
but yeah, do you want to go ahead and throw Bert's comment back up then?
good point. Some of these are on land. Well, the Alaskan Triangle is on land, and
Right.
the idea, and Alaska's a still an undiscovered wilderness.
Hmm.
And this is primarily in the deepest, overland parts of it. Hardly any of that triangle is over water. Um, And I think I covered it in the episode, but like people go there to not come back. So
Right.
missing persons reports happen like 1,500 a year. I forget the number. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. But there's a lot of people that go missing in Alaska every year. Does it mean that it was related to the Alaskan Triangle? Probably not. But it adds to the lore and the allure of it because if you can't explain it, you have to give it a name of some kind. You have to give it something, a label that has to say
Right.
it was because of this. It's our comprehension practice. So, do people go there like they go to the Okigahara, the suicide forest to not come home? Absolutely, and it's just not measured the same way because we don't find the bodies on a
Right.
patrol. So, and
Now,
it's a grander scale than 30 kilometers of forest in Japan. So,
um, looking at the ones that are, yeah, I love Amanda's
sorry.
comment.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah. Probably. Okay. They got to be
um,
somewhere.
the ones that are overland, obviously the number 20 there is over the Sahara Desert, so
Right.
that's and I'm not sure is that over India is the 22.
It's hard to see. I'm sorry. Oh man, you can make me put my old man glasses on. There you are. You happy now? Oh yeah. That's. Oh, oh, there you are, Chad. Hi.
so so I'm
Yeah.
not sure what the train of India is there, but they are like the Sahara is remote. So,
Right. A lot of it is anyway. Right.
but again, interesting. I think this it's spacing and just how it is fairly evenly spaced the whole way across. It's like almost like maybe they are connected portals. That would be really cool that you could.
Well, yeah. In fact, the question I was asking earlier is, why are these always triangles,
Right.
right? And I think we're going to talk a little bit about the concept of that next week with when we
Okay.
discuss ley lines, because they're
Okay.
plot points, and you can connect a lot of dots. If you have multiple points, you can connect things a lot easier than just having one or two. Well, all you need are two points for a straight line, right? But the
Right.
idea of having shapes, comes into play because you have to make it look like something. Um, that you can't make circles with plot points that
Right.
are far apart like these. So, um, and circles are not natural. Circles and straight lines are not natural to nature as well.
Correct.
A straight line or angles are not natural. So, and this is science coming into play too.
Hmm.
You have to give it a
Funny
shape.
how we tie this whole thing back to science, isn't it?
Well,
Not
you know,
funny, no, but
science explains things.
exactly.
And I'll even say that even though the paranormal field is not considered a science, it is science based.
Right.
And I think it's becoming more of a science every year once people start understanding what we really do and
Right.
the practices and the best practice techniques that we follow.
Right.
Um, and there, of course, there are always those who give us a bad name that run around and just want to get scared. Okay, fine. There's a
Right.
place for that. But if you're truly a paranormal investigator, you are looking at it from a scientific lens,
Right.
not a paranormal lens, but a scientific lens. So, I think that we'll start to see that become more and more of a commonality, and we'll start to see the field elevated because of it.
Right. When it's you talk about science and they and who's they? You know and this is a point that Ron brings up all the time. Who is
Yeah,
they?
yeah. They
And when
talk.
you and when you talk about science, there's so many fields of science. Why you can't classify you know paranormal as a type of science? It's just because they don't want to.
Right.
You know.
Well, I
So
think they are the big school or college trained, with a pedigree. That's the kind of thing we always have more revere for. Some
right.
establishments stand out more than others. It doesn't matter if you went to community college or Harvard. If you have a degree in science, you have a degree in science.
Right.
So, but the other one will get you. The Harvard will get you further, perhaps. Um, to be heard and read and presented to the public. So, um, I go back to the same thing I said. We have a world of people out there doing the work that we do that are working very diligently to elevate the field, and I think it's starting to be seen and heard and understood. to everybody now. And then some of those elevated people are getting older and fading away. So the next generation could change the world in perspective to our field. So I hope they do. Next time, yeah.
Or maybe we should form a paranormal review board, you know?
Why not? Yeah, why not us? Why not?
Hmm.
All right, have your people call our people. We'll get it working.
They'll get together.
They'll get together. Yes,
So,
they will.
so, well, yeah, it's just an interesting topic. And again, I think there's a lot, there's a lot to dive into. And
Yeah,
there's just so many things like this, Obviously, we've done two or three stories. There's, you know, seven more, 10 more,
yeah, I agree. And that's the fun of this. What we do here,
Hmm.
right? There's always more to cover. And I think I realized something um, the other day as I was doing research on ley lines for next week. I came across a book by the guy who kind of created ley lines, or at least brought it forward. And I thought I should read that, so I bought it. And then I realized, that I bought a book a while ago about another topic I covered, and I bought a book before that. And all of a sudden, I realized that I have all of these. I have a small shelf now full of stuff,
Uh-huh.
um, and the knowledge of all the other things without the resource material. And if we've gained nothing else through these last 39 episodes, and you presenting, me presenting both ways,
Hmm.
I've learned so much stuff that I think is fascinating and cool.
Hmm.
And I've enjoyed every episode and everything we've talked about.
Hmm.
And whether our guests are, our followers and fans, whatever you guys are out there, whatever you consider yourself, we should probably give a name. Mm. um, for all eight of them,
Hmm.
right? Um, and thank you, by the way.
Yep.
You know, but I like to think that we're all learning as we go here
Right.
as well,
Right.
because
Well,
there's so much.
yeah. Jamie, you're sort of covered up by Amanda's comment here, but I think yeah, don't hide behind it.
Is that better?
Um, I think there's another researcher in our fans that we should really start tapping into here.
Ooh, all right, I'm in.
So,
Okay,
did you get to read through that?
yeah. I got my damn glasses back on. You guys are killing me. We got to get a bigger font. Ooh, cool. Blind frog. I'm not. This is new to me. All right. Where do we find this blind frog ranch at? I'm going to write this down. Lost my pen.
Yeah, Amanda, can you comment as to where that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Discovery Plus. HBO. I got that. I got both of those. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. Season 3. Holy cow.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find it. I don't know if I have those, but I'm sure I can find it somewhere.
That's it. That's a whole nother thing, Chad. And there are so many presentations out there of information.
Hmm.
Um, we have a lot of friends. Obviously Staticom. They're dedicated to putting material out there. We have so many friends who have opportunities on Paraflix. Obviously the network programming. And then all of the guerrilla stuff that you find on YouTube and everywhere else where there's material. Can be deposited. TikTok even. I mean, it's just amazing how much there is out there and how hard it is to keep up at times. You know, um, it's fantastic.
Hmm.
What a time, right? What a
Hmm.
time to be here and doing this.
Yep. So,
So
yeah,
I did get a chance to ask you what you think. We way tangent on my answer. I'm so sorry.
no, it's okay.
But where are you at on this? I mean, you're the knowledge expert, so you've done the most research.
Um, I think there's a lot of it that is, like I said in my wrap up there, there's a lot of it that's science based, and or sorry, I used the terms wrong, but there's earth and physical science based. The the gas is coming up from the ocean floor, changing buoyancy. That's a known fact. Um, Volcanoes, obviously, there's proof that a volcano sank the research ship. When you've got stuff embedded in the ship, obviously that's what did it. Um, but I reached the same conclusion as you do. Like, where did the planes go?
Yeah.
Like, like, or what caused if they crashed? What caused them to crash? I mean, like, it's too many just to be pilot error. It's too
Right.
many to like, and to say to have someone saying the same thing that another was said in a different part of the world. The sky is opening up. What does that mean?
Yeah. What does that mean? Right.
So yes, there's some that's physical science, but then there's others that's something else. We just can't. We don't have a good answer, so it's not normal. So it becomes paranormal.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. You take away the things that are normal, then it has to be paranormal.
Yeah.
And without, the wonderful thing would be if there were survivors of these wrecks, or these crashes, and someone could come out of the water and definitively say something happened,
Mm-hmm.
or there was some recording document of found, like, I don't think a black box is the right thing to say here, but
Right.
something from one of the wreckages that was, now with modernized technology, something could have been salvaged that would say this was what happened. There's cameras all over these ships, cameras
Right.
on planes, something of that spirit, um, to say this is what happened, and
Mm-hmm.
I keep going back to, and I meant to say this a minute ago. I'm sorry, I was so long-winded. I forgot even what I wanted to say. Um, but there to me, I'm trying to make sure I get this right too. There is a phenomenon known as the rogue wave, and
Right.
and that comes to mind here as well, because being out in the middle of the ocean, um, and this is a pretty wide territory, at least for the Dragon Triangle.
Right.
Um, you know, there are islands, but they're not necessarily habitated or have places where they could be people can rescue you from. So you're out in the middle of nowhere, and a rogue wave comes and hits you just the right way, and it turns you over, and then you're done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it can happen so fast that no time to radio for it. I think. I mean, that's what I understand. So
Right.
it's happened in the Atlantic. It's happened in the Pacific, the true Pacific. So it is a phenomenon that does occur,
Right.
which is something else to consider altogether. But again, it's not dealing with a plane. The plane,
Right.
yeah, but the same element. If a plane has mechanical failure of some kind, an instrument failure, and it's not able to radio, it's going to look like it just disappears. Um, and we still haven't found Amelia Earhart's plane, right? All these years later. So,
Right.
that is likely a technical failure with a limited radio. And if you're outside of the broadcast range of it, then it looks like you just got swallowed up and disappeared.
Right. Yeah. But Tom makes a good point
Yeah.
too. When we do have, and maybe that's why we're getting less reports of things. Like, we either don't want to know about the reports because we do see that they've disappeared, or we know we know that they've sank, or I don't know.
Well, with all of this technology, we still lose Jerry at investigations, right? So
Yep.
I don't know.
It,
We got to put an air tag on him. Um, but
Amanda
that's the point,
reaching
right?
right. Why can't we find them? Like,
He doesn't want to be found.
I wasn't talking about Jerry, but he doesn't want to be found sometimes. So
Yeah, well, again, positioning, GPS, all those things these trackers are in these vessels and crafts, so we should be able to find them now. They weren't there before, though. Like,
right.
obviously, there was a time. Thanks, Amanda. There was a time when it was it's just something that happened. It was an occurrence, and if it happened, oh well. We'll hopefully not happen the next time. And that's a tragedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, because people were lost, and
Right.
it's an occupational hazard too. For a I say a ship's captain, an airplane captain, pilot, and a crew. It's an occupational hazard that you have to understand the risks. You're going to go oversee. you're going to go anywhere you go in the world. This is a known risk. Anytime you go up in a plane, it's a risk that you won't come down the way you want to.
Right.
Um, I we know air traffic is safer than car traffic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, and
Right.
ship traffic is safer than car traffic because there's less ships and then there are planes and cars. There are cars, and there's
Mm-hmm.
more out there, more opportunity. But when it happens, a lot of people go with them.
Right.
Um, so instead of a single vehicle accident, so I don't know, but where do the planes go? I keep coming back to this.
Right. Well, in the Bermuda Triangle, we have found the planes. Not all
We
of them,
found a lot,
but
yeah,
we've found a
absolutely,
lot of them in the
yeah.
Bermuda Triangle.
They're still being found all the time.
Right. This part of the world, I feel like it's a deeper ocean, so one thing I read was 4 kilometers. So that's
Miles,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Well, with the advent of better technology, we are now able to send rovers deeper and deeper, unmanned craft with excellent cameras and sensors. So I think it's only a matter of time. But time is one thing, but money is another, right? These things
right.
are incredibly expensive. These expeditions to go out, you have to have a home ship to sit over the spot you think something's at, and the time it takes to come up and down and up. I guess
Mm-hmm.
reverse that. Um, and then the risk of being at the elements of whatever's going on in the world around you at the time. So you're in the ring of fire. So
Yep.
there is a potential for eruptions to occur on a regular basis, and the challenges that come with that. So you're putting yourself at risk,
Mm-hmm.
by being in the space, much less the surface weather elements that are happening.
Right.
So, I just see it someday it could happen, but until we figure out how to do it better and more cost effectively, I don't know this is a priority for folks. Do you?
Right. So
Hmm. Well, and where did they go? This is how do planes this size disappear? Like, how does anything the size of these vessels disappear?
well, I mean, yeah, those ore carriers. I mean, you saw the pictures; they were huge.
They're massive ships.
Right. So
Yeah, we go deep sea fishing. My dad, my brother, and I every year, almost every year. We didn't go since COVID, I guess, but out of Delaware here on the East Coast, and um, you know you get on a small craft. It's a private charter kind of thing. Even if you get on the large ones that go out of like Indian River, you go out around the cargo ships, and you don't realize how big these things are from the shore with the distance out they are. But when you get up next to them, we're very near to them. I shouldn't say we're ever next to them, but we're very close to them, and these things are massive
mm-hmm.
and daunting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do you lose it? you know
Right. Yeah. When I was younger, before I had kids, and I lived in Brunei, which is
right?
Southeast Asia.
Yep.
I used to do scuba diving, so we would go out and same thing, going past these huge carriers in a little, you know,
Like
30
a
foot
skiff.
boat.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like these things they go on forever.
they do.
So, and it
Yeah,
was
the
just
propeller
amazing.
blade is as big as your boat. It's like,
Yeah.
all
So, yep.
right,
Well,
sir.
any
Well,
final thoughts on this, Jamie?
it's fascinating. It really is, and I'm curious if we want as we go along, if we get into some of these other areas as well, what it could be. And Todd's saying it very well here. Um, yeah, I appreciate the cruise ship comment. I was on one a few years ago, and at night, just standing out on one of the decks. I don't know which side it is, left or right, whatever. But I noticed another ship crossing us, and it's very much the same as if you're on a plane and you're in a window seat and you're just casually looking out at the world down there, and all of a sudden the plane passes you. You're going the other direction. It's a little off-putting. Whoa, you're clearly far apart. You can't tell what it even was. It's moving so fast, but
Right.
it's a little scary. But um, Yeah, if something goes wrong out there, you are on your own. That's why they do the emergency stuff on the first night. Know where your know how to put life jackets and know where your boat is, your lifeboat is. It seems superfluous and unnecessary, but because you're in like the Atlantic, you're not that far, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a long way back.
Yeah. The only cruise ship I've ever been on was in dry dock. So.
I recommend it. It was fun. You really should. You can do stuff out of Baltimore. You can do stuff out of New York. Nothing far. Nothing.
Yeah.
Easy on, easy off.
Yeah.
Go down to Bermuda, enjoy yourself.
Yeah. But dry
You
dock is
deserve a
interesting.
vacation, sir.
What's that?
You deserve a vacation.
You're always telling me I'm on too many vacations.
Well, that's true too. But you deserve them. Yeah, go get them.
But dry dock is interesting because I was on the ship when they actually drained the dock.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, and then I was on the ship when they flooded it. That was really cool too. So.
Oh, that would be.
Amanda said,
"Oh, I think we're doing the same thing."
I deserve one. So
yeah,
sorry,
go
Jamie.
get it.
So, well, any final thoughts, or should we move on to what's coming up?
The funny thing is, Chad, here we go again. We thought, oh, this is going to be a short episode, and here we are. No such thing. No, I'm good. Let's move on.
All right. You don't have your glasses on, so I guess I should go through these, huh?
Fine. All right, February 24th. A lot of public ones coming up at the brewery, but we're back to we're on a schedule now. Instead of every other weekend, we're basically once a month. So I think that's going to be an interesting year this year, but and a good thing for us as well because we gives us time to get to other things that we want to do as a team at Jott-Nyx. But the 24th of February, March 30th, April 13th, I will not be there because I will be. Where am I going to be, Chad? Where am I going to be?
At the Haunted Mansion.
I'm going to be at the Haunted Mansion, Walt Disney World, baby. I'm going to ride that bad boy every day, several times. I might do an episode. Let's do an episode on the Haunted Mansion. Why not? Right? There's a lot to it, actually. It's more than just a ride. There's some intentionality and some cool stuff about it. I have a book somewhere. Speaking of books I've gotten, right? The book around here somewhere. Find it. Big date on May 11th. Heading back to Red Mill. It's a paranormal investigation at a campfire. Cool evening. Daryl Marston will be with us, and Ron and Lourdes with the Staticom project, and hopefully a few other surprises before we get there. And then back to some public investigations to wrap up through the early part of the summer. Oh no! Well, speaking of haunted things, I know you guys will have some fun there. So, Bert, I trust you'll bring back some good stories. Tickets are available on the Boobies website, Stave or Stub, for the paranormal events at the brewery, as well as where is the investigation at Red Mill? Where are those tickets, Chad? Remind me.
They're on the Boobies website.
On the Boobies website too. Yeah. Perfect. That's easy. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry. No.
Right. Nope. No, they're not. They can't be.
They're on the Jott-Nyx website.
They're on our stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
And our Facebook page has more information as well. So that information is here next.
Well, no, not
there. Not there. I lied. Sorry, guys. You can tell I don't do this clicking stuff very often.
I like what Albert's thinking here.
Can we make it a boat trip instead of a road trip? Yes, I'm in. Let's do it.
So one thing I want to throw out while we're talking about upcoming dates, it's way in the future, but October 12th. Now, we have a special event the 19th at the brewery, but October 12th is a normal investigation.
Did you just say the brewery?
The brewery. October 12th, John Covey is going to be joining us at the brewery.
Oh, cool. Hey, John.
We've been working on this for a long time, but he finally, we got our schedules to mesh, and we got to talk, and John's going to join us that night.
Perfect.
So I'm looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and jump to upcoming episodes because you're doing ley lines.
I need a minute.
Good night.
You said it. Yes, next week. Ley lines.
You're doing ley lines next week.
I'd like to dedicate this episode to Bert Lynch.
That's right.
Thanks, Bert.
But we have a change in schedule
Oh,
John
cool.
Covey is joining us February 6th to
All
talk
right.
about mediumship.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to that. I love John. Talking to him, I could talk to him for days. So
Perfect.
have
This is
you
gonna be
you
cool.
haven't met him yet, have you,
Not
Jamie?
in person. No, and
Okay.
reputation, good stories. All the positive stuff. But not in person at all, or even this kind of thing. Looking forward to this. Actually.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Then you've got Champ coming up.
Yep.
And then February 20th is right after President's Day, so I figured let's do Ghosts of the White House. See what I can dig up there. And then
Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Wendigo. It's a Native American folklore.
Okay.
So it'll be a fun show.
Yeah. So,
Next time. Oh man. And here's what I was trying to say a moment ago, how to find us and do the cool things with us,
uh-huh.
tickets are, and how to get tickets to events and so forth. Obviously our Facebook, you found us here most likely. A few folks may have found us on YouTube, and if you have not, feel free to like our channel, and that way we can boost us a little bit and get more access to cool stuff. We have some good TikTok content, and like us there, Instagram as well. So, but tickets for the Red Mill are going to be found on our Facebook page. So please get them while you can before they are gone. And when they are gone, they are literally gone. There will be a limit to this one. So um, do not wait too long. And it may seem like a long way away, but it really is not.
It's
I will tell you that as of right now, April 7th, according to my countdown timer to go to Disney, is 74 days, 14 hours, and 47 minutes. So I'm on a plane heading to the Magic Kingdom to get on that Haunted Mansion ride. So that's only 3 weeks or so before, a month before. So we're talking about 104 days.
yep.
Count them down, Chad. Count them down.
Yeah,
Mark your calendar.
it's coming fast. So,
I'm gonna do a countdown for that too. Actually,
hmm so
cool.
like we said earlier, there's one ticket left online for the 24th at the
Yep.
brewery. If you can't get it online, call the brewery. I think they may hold some or be able to
Yeah.
make arrangements. I hope I'm not talking out of turn there, but
Yeah.
it's always
Call them and tell them Chad Thomas sent you.
no.
That'll get you in.
They're like, who?
Who?
So,
Oh, they know you. Don't you worry.
uh, anyway, but then March 30th, and the rest of them so far look like there's still quite a few tickets left, but we
Yep.
are running low in February. So,
Yeah. And the as the weather gets a little nicer and a little fairer, I think we get out of our doors a bit more too. More people start to come in. The winter, you get stir crazy for something to do in the winter months, and then you're like, oh, let's go, let's get out and do some stuff when it gets warm. So yeah, there's no excuse not to come.
yep. So,
Ooh,
all right.
I don't have to read anymore. Well,
Uh,
my eye doctors hates me. I wear lenses. Like
uh-huh.
I still can't see. It's terrible. Ah.
No, I understand. So,
All right, dude. Well, this was fun. Thank you.
yeah,
Good episode. Good content. And thanks everybody for all the participation, especially Amanda with the brewery.
that's that's
I can't stop laughing at this.
that's what makes this fun. Is we could sit here and talk to each other all night, but getting feedback
Yeah,
and responses from the viewers is really important to us. So,
that's gonna stick. By the way, I know it's gonna stick. So we'll do something fun with that.
yep,
We'll
definitely.
talk to Sam, see if we get some shirts made. Booby's Brewery.
Uh-huh. Jott-Nyx at the brewery.
There we go. Yes. See, that's how it starts.
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
So,
All right,
all
I'm done.
right. And
I'm
you know
out.
what, Melissa's going, oh my God, why
Yeah,
are they
why are we?
gone?
Yeah, we're gonna get fired. That's it. We're done. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you somewhere else some other way.
All right.
Canceled.
Good night.
Take care, everybody. Thank you. See you later.